Hey guys, I'll keep this short. I just want to give you a quick video giving you guys some tips on how to do well on this Foundation of America essay. So this video is meant to help guide you through the pre-writing sheet and getting all your ideas together in that nature. So step one is you need to go to Google Classroom and scroll down to where it says Foundation of America essay. Okay, so first off, here's the prompt. Okay, this is the final prompt, okay, and it will show you the rubric and all that stuff. Okay, so if you want to go back and look at that, then go there. Okay, so back to the Foundation America stuff. The other parts is this pre-writing guide. Okay, so you guys should all have a paper copy of this. If you do not, you need to come see me and I can get this to you. Here's what we're about to go through here in a second. Now, in this essay, you're expected to bring in evidence from the Declaration of Independence. And if you do prompt 2 especially, then you're going to need to bring in evidence from some of the court cases we've talked about religion. Okay, this document right here, okay, has all of those notes. Okay, so it starts with all the Supreme Court cases, tells you what the Supreme Court ruled in case you forgot. Okay, because in your essay, if you do prompt 2, it's gonna ask you about separation of church and state. This will help you with that. And then also you have these notes over the Declaration. Okay, now you guys should have paper copies of both these, but this way you have a digital copy as well. Okay, now I want to go through these questions just real quick. Okay, that way you can pause it and consider things as you're filling this out. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I had to make my screen a little bit bigger. All right, so this one, I gave you guys kind of an additional clue with this. So what are the ideas on the relationship between people and government as stated in the Declaration of Independence? In other words, what are governments supposed to do and what can people do if governments fail to do this, okay? So just think about what we've talked about with the Declaration. Why do we even agree to have governments? What are governments designed to do? And what can people do if the governments fail in their purpose of doing this? So give you a hint, governments are designed to protect people's what? Okay, governments are designed to protect people's rights. All right, so what can we do if the government fails to protect our rights? Next, the 2 examples of the way the British supposedly violated these rights. Okay, according to the Declaration, how did this help in building our case for independence? Guys, this is just the list of grievances. So from your Declaration of Independence learning check, this is all the complaints they had against the British. That's all you have to do here. So you could do, for example, for imposing taxes on us without our consent. You could do for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world. I mean, the list goes on and on. So just think about some of those arguments we made against the British, like the things they had done wrong. Okay, now this is important because this is how you connect prompt 1, like the parts about the Declaration with the parts about the First Amendment. So how does the First Amendment help protect the rights of people in a government that are stated in the Declaration? This is where you shift to make the connection. Because I want you guys to consider this. How is freedom of speech important to giving people the rights that are in the Declaration? So the idea that people have the right to change their government if it fails them, okay? How is the freedom of speech, the ability to speak out without government control, connected to that ability to change the government? Okay? Don't overthink this. And if you have additional questions, let me know. Now, if you want to go the religious route and talk about freedom of religion, you could talk about how, like, all Americans have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and how an American's ability to worship freely without government interference is a big part of their pursuit of happiness. Theoretical example, okay, that's just like, for example, if the government isn't protecting our rights, you can form a protest. That's just thinking about, in theory, about a certain situation of like things you can do with your First Amendment rights to preserve those rights, or I'll even give you credit if you tell me like an action you can do that's protected under the First Amendment, like freedom of religion, freedom of speech, things of that nature. Topic sentence or first sentence, okay, I just want you to write down how you're going to start your essay. And if you need help with this, I can help you, but I just want to check to make sure everybody's getting off on a strong start. Now, this next part, okay, if you're doing prompt 2, all I'm asking you here is to look at the structure of the Declaration. Okay, so how does Jefferson make this argument that the colonies should be independent? Because remember, The Declaration of Independence is like the world's greatest argumentative essay. Now, if you look at the Declaration of Independence notes, remember I've broken it down into sections. Okay? So think about these sections, and it tells you what's discussed throughout these. Think about how each one builds on another. Okay? So you go from talking about the rights people have in a government here. In the next section, the list of grievances, you show how the British have abused those rights. Colonist efforts, that's where we try to show where, hey, we've tried the peaceful route, it hadn't worked. And then lastly, we declare independence. So do not overthink that. That's all that's asking, okay? Next part. What is the connection between the ideas of liberty and pursuit of happiness stated in the Declaration, the First Amendment right of freedom of religion? Okay, so this is how you're going to, again, bridge those ideas over the Declaration with the First Amendment freedom of religion. So you could just say something, again, along the lines of, hey, like, every American has the right to freedom of religion. This helps in their pursuit of happiness and their own personal liberty, something like that. In the last part of these, okay, you're going to look at the notes. Okay, we took notes over this in class. And then this part right here, 2 Supreme Court rulings that have helped in keeping church and state separate from each other. So, for example, Engel versus Vitale, teacher-led prayer in public schools is banned. Okay, so talk about that, and then why is that important to keep church and state separate? Okay, and same deal for if you do prompt 2 versus if you did prompt 1. Okay, you're going to write that topic sentence right here. Now, again, you only have to do one of these 2 prompts. Okay, you guys have a lot of time to do this, but please review this video as many times as you need. If you need an additional video, I can do that. Or as usual, I can help you in class during PLT time. Anyway, see you guys. Have a good day.